Assalamualaikum
Assalamualaikum
warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
wabarakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, everyone. Before we begin, I'd like to ask you a quick question. Have you ever translated a sentence into English using an online translator? Look at the result and thought, well, technically every word is correct, but it still sounds strange. Maybe it felt too formal, maybe it sounded robotic, or maybe it simply wasn't something a native speaker would naturally say.
That is actually a very common experience. Translation isn't just about replacing words from one language with another. Every language has its own expressions, cultural context, levels of formality, and sentence structure. If those aren't considered, the translation might be grammatically correct but still sound unnatural.
And that's why choosing the right translation tool is becoming more important than ever, especially for students and professionals who communicate internationally.
So today, we'd like to introduce a translation application designed specifically to solve this problem. My part My name is Nirvana Rakasatria, and my partner is.
Muhammad Shalal Fatih?
Today, we'll be talking about DeepL Translator, an AI-powered translation tool that focuses on delivering translation that sound natural, not just literal.
It's As students, we use translation tools almost every day. We translate journal articles, research papers, presentation slides, emails to lecturers, internship applications, and sometimes even message to international friends.
While machine translation has improved dramatically over the decade, many tools still prioritize translating words individually instead of understanding the sentence as a whole.
This can create several problems. For example, an academic sentence might become too casual, a business email may sound rude without intending to, or an idiom might be translated word for word, causing the meaning to disappear completely.
Imagine, for example, translating the Indonesian phrase besar kepala into English. A literal translation would be big head. A native English speaker would probably be confused hearing it. The intended meaning is actually arrogant or conceited. Understanding that difference requires context and not just vocabulary.
And that's exactly where DeepL tries to make a difference.
So, what exactly is DeepL? DeepL is an AI powered translation application developed using advanced neural network technology. Instead of translating words one by one, it analyzes the entire sentence before generating the translation.
In other words, DeepL attempts to understand the meaning behind a sentence. It considers grammar, context, sentence structure, tone, and even the level of formality.
This allows the translation to sound much closer to something a native speaker would actually write or say.
Currently, DeepL supports more than 30 languages and it's widely used by students, researchers, professional translators, businesses, and international organizations.
It is available to a web browser, desktop application, and mobile app, making it accessible almost anywhere.
Now, let's see how DeepL actually works. So, we'll start with a simple Indonesian sentence. Bisa tolong kirim laporannya secepatnya ya?
DeepL Translator, could you please the as sounds polite and natural?
But but there's one feature that many people don't know exists.
If I click on the phrase as soon as possible, DeepL immediately provides several alternative expressions. We can choose options like immediately, or we can change it into right away, or we can change it again into soon. Each option has a slightly different tone.
So instead of giving us just one answer, DeepL let us choose the wording that best fits the situation.
Let's imagine writing to a professor. Using at your earliest convenience sounds much more professional than right away. But if you're testing a friend, right away might actually sounds more natural.
Now let's try another example. This time we'll use an idiom.
The sentence is, let's see, jangan buang muka. Instead of giving us the literal translation of every individual word, DeepL give us don't look away, don't turn your face away. It recognizes the intended meaning rather than translating it literally.
Let's try one final example.
Will type saya sangat menghargai bantuan Anda. DeepL translated as I really appreciate your help. Notice that it doesn't produce an awkward sentence like I highly value your assistance. Instead, it uses wording that sounds natural in everyday English.
So this demonstration shows that DeepL isn't simply replacing words, it's trying to understand how people naturally communicate. Let's summarize some of DeepL's strongest feature.
First is context-aware translation. DeepL analyzes the entire sentence instead of translating individual words.
Second is alternative word and phrase suggestions. As we just demonstrated, users can click parts of the translation to see multiple natural alternatives.
Third is document translation. Users can upload Word documents or PDF, and DeepL preserves much of the original formatting while translating the content.
This is particularly useful for students who need to translate reports or academic papers without spending hours fixing formatting afterward.
Finally, DeepL also offers a glossary feature. Users, as I've just showcased, can define preferred translations for technical terms or specialized vocabulary, helping maintain consistency throughout a document.
So, why should students consider using DeepL?
It saves time while producing translations that generally sound more natural than literal machine translations.
It can improve academic writing, professional communication, and everyday language learning.
However, it's also important to remember that no translation is perfect.
Users should always review important translations carefully, especially legal documents, research paper, or highly technical materials.
Now, in other words, DeepL should be viewed as a powerful assistant, not a complete replacement for human judgment.
To conclude, translation today is no longer just about converting words from one language into another.
It's about preserving meaning, tone, context, and clarity.
DeepL demonstrates how modern artificial intelligence can help us communicate more naturally across languages.
So the next time you're translating something important, whether it's a university assignment, a business email, or an international application, don't settle for a translation that's only technically correct.
Choose one that sounds natural, clear, and meaningful.
That concludes our presentation about DeepL Translator.
Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum
Wassalamualaikum
warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
wabarakatuh.